Alright guys, I'm going to title this video Gratitude, and then having your Lord Jesus Christ as your North Star. No, but in all seriousness, I've been thinking a lot about gratitude lately. Obviously we've all got, our own troubles, financial, relationships, whatever it might be. You might feel stuck in life. And in my case, I'm in my late 20s and oh gosh, I just feel like I'm so much older than I am, and that's a testament to that. I guess one of the first things we can jump into in terms of gratitude is just being so blessed to have such good male role models growing up. Good brothers, great dad, always there for us. That's obviously helped my development a lot. And one of the things that I've thought about a lot recently, I don't know why, it's a super vivid memory I have. And again, this kind of ties into just being grateful for everything. And it's just, even my early years as being a kid, one of the memories I remember a lot about is, again, this was only like 15 years ago too. But being able to ride my scooter or my skateboard with like my best friend from middle school down to the local 7-Eleven, get a couple ICs, and then go to the Albertsons next to it. And I remember it clear as day. There was like this bin that had I don't remember, it was like $1 to like $5 movies, and it ranged from, and they were DVDs ranging from like Casino Royale to like the Marvel movies. So it's kind of had everything. I remember like buying a couple movies from like cash that like our parents would give us, and come back, watch those movies like through like just the end of the night, playing gun game and like Black Ops, and again just like that whole like just from start to finish adventure. It's just unfortunate that a lot of kids nowadays are just not going to be able to have that. Obviously with just the advent. I mean this will be another video, but I really think the smartphone is the thing that really killed society and social media in general. But again, another video for that. Again, just going over just like my upbringing. That's just, again, such a vivid memory I've had. And again, one of the things that's always tied to just my gratitude I've had in life. Oh, and I didn't even mention it, by the way. I've got my gameplay from one of my streams for Skate 3 in the background, and I don't know, I play like the new Skate, I think, at the end of this stream too. But gosh, is the art style just atrocious. It's real sad what they've done. It literally looks like Fortnite. The gameplay is like super floaty. So anyways, I'm a Skate 3 guy, like ride or die forever. Anyways, so gratitude, right? Everything I have, all just how close I am with my family, and having a good stable job, especially with the job market these days. It's like these little things. I feel like, especially as a Catholic, especially the closer you get to God, you really start to appreciate the little things in life. A good meal, a good night's sleep, good time management, whatever it might be. And I should have probably started that. Should have probably started talking about that in this video, but I think in terms of gratitude, it always starts with God. For all of you that are followers of Christ like I am, one of the things I've started doing is not only do I do a daily rosary, so I do a rosary every day, but the other thing I do is I've got like this little section in my room. It's kind of like a mini nightstand that has like my Bible, a couple of cards of the saints. So it'll have like Padre Pio, Jesus, of course, Mary, St. Joseph, St. Michael, a couple other saints on there. And anytime I pass it, it's almost like I'm at Latin Mass or something. I just genuflect every time I go in there and change or get out of the shower, whatever it might be. As soon as I pass that makeshift, I don't want to say altar, that might be sacrilegious, but the little area that I have that's a pretty holy part of my place, I always genuflect. And it just always, it's done this thing where even if I'm around my room, if I'm just walking by, I'll always think about it. Like, okay, I'm going to be close to genuflecting, which is kind of a trick to always just keep your mind on God, right? And I think as guys, right? As guys, we just we're always going to feel prideful. We're never going to want to submit and surrender all of our worries and our woes and the troubles that we have and the current burdens that we have to God. But I cannot stress to you guys enough, like, one of the things that's just going to drastically affect your life for the better is if you just surrender to God and you just give all of your worries to Him. That's why I think it's so important that as soon as you wake up, whatever, you can, wash your face, brush your teeth, whatever, wake up a little bit, drink coffee. But I don't think you should go more than like 15 minutes or 20 minutes as soon as you wake up without acknowledging God. And I don't mean to get hokey pokey with you guys, but again, I think for me, like, I'll give you guys my routine. Like, I wake up, I've got a white noisemaker just because my neighbors are so freaking loud, but turn that sucker off as soon as I wake up, turn off my alarm on my phone, and then just get down for. And again, if I'm, if you guys are, I know everyone's busy these days, right? If you guys have a long commute to work, if you guys have school, whatever it might be, it's not gonna kill you to spend at minimum like 3 minutes with God, just thanking Him, right? Wake up, sign of the cross, Our Father, Hail Mary, St. Michael prayer, and just thank Him for just giving you another day on this evil planet that we live on, to just continue to do your best to stay on the narrow path. It's a real gift that we're given every day to do what's best and to treat people the right way. And I know it's obviously easier said than done, especially with Christianity just being so under attack in this day and age, which is real sad. But look, one of the things I think about, again, a lot is, as bad as things may seem out there, there's a reason why you're here, right? God doesn't do anything by coincidence, and people always say, this is a tougher time than previous years, this and that, and sure, that may very well be the case in a lot of different areas, with the dating scene, with the job market, the economy, with your dollars, at least in the States, just definitely not being as strong as they used to be, the rate of inflation, whatever it might be, right? But think of that as an honor, that God specifically chose you. I mean, again, He knew all of us before we were even born, right? So think of that as just an insane honor that we're able to actually be chosen to go through this tribulation. And they always say that, well, not only is this kind of the age of Mary, with just kind of the prophecies and the different, the Fatima, I'm totally butchering this, but the Fatima prophecy, and just the strength that the rosary has. I definitely feel like I've gotten closer to Mary in the past year, but that's besides the point. Again, just as close as you guys can get to staying, not even just as close. Like, look, here's the other thing too, right? As tough as things get, there's no other choice than staying on the narrow path. And again, easier said than done, right? Everyone's got temptations. Everyone fights their battles. And I think the important thing is just staying as close to God as possible. And again, I'm obviously a dirty, terrible sinner, right? In no way do I ever consider myself or think of myself as righteous. But I think that constant strive and the ability to just continue to pick yourself back up, go to confession. I wasn't a big party guy growing up, and actually, oddly, I went through college, and I feel like I was pretty focused, and I kind of steered away from that stuff. But it was not until after college, for a couple of years, where I just got involved with a lot of secular friends. Obviously, it was my fault too, and it just things. Let's just say I wasn't as close to God as I would have liked to be. But now that I feel like I've really, not Now, a lot of you guys might be like this too, right? You're a cradle Catholic, grew up Catholic, going to church. I didn't really ever steer away from God. It was just, it's one of those things where, you claim you're Catholic and you go to church and you pray, but deep down you're still, entertaining like lustful thoughts. You're still entertaining things that aren't right. You're lying, whatever it might be, right? At a certain point, when you start to do like the daily rosary, when you start to give God a couple of minutes in the morning, a couple of minutes right before bed, you really start to have this hatred for sin in a way that it's kind of indescribable. Like you really start to feel like something's off when you're either in the near occasion of sin or when you're just in the midst of it. And so that's why one of the things I just really want to mention too is, obviously I say pray a rosary, and I feel like I've gotten to a good point where I've been doing it for so long now that I just know to do it. I don't even have to put it on my task list, but for the day. But I was telling a buddy of mine the other day that with the days that I don't do my rosary, or if I just don't pray, and I just, I get up late, I go to the gym, I get into work, and I just leave that till the end, I just feel off for like the first part of the day. I can't really explain it. And I mean, the thing that it points to is just not putting on the armor of God. And again, with how just secular and just evil things are right now in the world, like, we're very clearly under attack. I mean, that kind of goes without saying, but the spiritual warfare can be combated so long as you've got your eyes on God. So I mentioned before, that having that little space in my room where I have like the saints in there that I genuflect, that just constant reminder of having God around will cause you to just focus on Him at least for a couple of minutes. And again, if you're fighting certain battles, I cannot stress enough doing what you have to do to offer it up to God, because in the end, all things work for good, even the bad. You lose a sale at work, you fail an exam, things aren't going well financially, whatever it might be. That stuff's awful, obviously, and I'm totally bailing at the end of this death race. It's so sad. But again, these are just things that I think are just so incredibly important, and it all starts with gratitude. I know this video was me just kind of rambling quite a bit, but I hope some of you were able to get something out of it. And like I said, I mean, I'm a young guy. I'm in my late 20s, but having, again, good brothers, great dad, just good mentors at work, I sure as hell feel a lot older than I am, and that's all thanks to their wisdom. And like I said, I mean, I feel like it's kind of my responsibility, and I have a duty to share. And because I definitely know I'm not alone. I know there's so many guys that think that they are, that think this way, and just know that you're called to be set apart. So that feeling of, I hate the word FOMO, but that feeling of I don't want to say abandoned either, but just that feeling of just kind of not fitting in is a hell of a lot more common than you think it is. Especially if you're somebody that's close to God, or if you're somebody that's striving to be close to God. And again, this isn't a tiered system. This isn't a hierarchy. It's we're all trying to do the same thing, and we all have the same goals, ideally, right? Get close to God. The rest will figure it out. Be grateful, because you have a lot of good things going for you. See ya.